I think they're absolutely scandalous. Like, especially when for $14.99 you can buy some t-shirts on the McTalks Hoop Store. Selling for $14.99. As low as that. Oh, why didn't I make t-shirts for these? But as low as $14.99, you got t-shirts in the McTalks Hoop Store. I'm gonna make more.
The much anticipated Caitlin Clark logo has been unveiled by Nike, and the reception has been mixed, but generally positive. The design features the initials CC in an interlocking pattern that many observers find acceptable, though not groundbreaking. Nike has already begun merchandising with the logo, offering t-shirts priced at $40 in their Coming Soon section. This pricing has drawn criticism from some quarters, with comparisons being made to similar merchandise available elsewhere at significantly lower prices, sometimes as low as $14.99. The design challenge of creating something distinctive with the letters CC appears to have been acknowledged, as there are inherent limitations when working with repeating consonants. Despite this constraint, the result achieves a clean, minimalist aesthetic that some compare to high-end fashion brand logos.
9 cents, you got t-shirts in the McTalks Hoop Store. I'm gonna make more though, by the way. I'm gonna have a lot more out, but I think 40 is kind of scandalous. Yeah, I just think genuinely it's a tough one. It is a tough one because I don't think you can do much with the letters CC. I don't think you can do too much with that. But if you're asking me where do I rank this in logos, for me,
when evaluating the logo against other WNBA player branding, several comparisons emerge. Sabrina Ionescu's logo continues to be regarded as the gold standard for WNBA player logos, maintaining its position at the top of most rankings. Angel Reese's logo receives recognition as another strong design, earning second place in many assessments. The Caitlin Clark logo, while not reaching the heights of these top-tier designs, significantly outperforms others in the market. The comparison to A'ja Wilson's logo reveals a stark contrast, with Clark's design being described as dramatically superior, percent suggesting it's exponentially better than Wilson's offering.
Ask me where do I rank this in logos. For me, number 1 is Sabrina's in WNBA logos. Number 2, I'm giving Angel Reese the number 2 logo. But, there is a but, this is 100 times better than the A'ja Wilson logo. This is 1,000,000 times better than the A'ja Wilson logo. No question about it. And the rumor is, apparently the t-shirt is coming out October the 1st, and the rumor is signature product dropping 2020.
Product release timelines indicate that merchandise featuring the logo will become available on October 1st. More significantly, signature footwear is reportedly scheduled for release in 2026. This timeline raises questions about seasonal coordination, with speculation that Nike will likely align the shoe launch with the WNBA season rather than releasing during the sport's off-season. The 2-year wait for signature footwear has been a point of contention, particularly given that other players from Clark's draft class have already received their own signature shoes. The delay becomes more notable when considering that Clark had player-exclusive PE shoes during her rookie season, suggesting that signature status could have been achieved earlier.
And the rumor is signature product dropping 2026. So the signature shoe is dropping in 2026. It'd be interesting when it is. If they time with the NBA or the WNBA season. I would assume they'll probably they'll time it with the WNBA season, because it wouldn't make sense to release it in late 2026. For me, I don't think that would really make much sense. But yeah, it is an interesting.
Initial reactions to the logo have evolved positively over time. What initially appeared as a simple design has grown in appeal as viewers spend more time examining its details. The interlocking nature of the letters creates visual interest, and some observers have noted potential subtle elements, including what might be interpreted as the number 3 inches within the design. Comparisons to the Chanel logo have been inevitable, given the similar use of interlocking C letters, though the Nike design maintains its own distinct character. This similarity to luxury fashion branding may actually work in the logo's favor, suggesting sophistication and premium positioning.
Yeah, it is an interesting one in here anyway. But like obviously WNBA eyes. Reebok could never. WNBA misses you. Caitlin Clark signature shoe only 2 years overdue. I mean, she had the PE. Things would have been very different if she had gotten even some PEs as a rookie, and we hadn't seen like other people in our draft class, multiple other people in our draft class already get their signature shoes. So yeah, for me anyway, it's
the broader context of WNBA player branding reveals a competitive landscape where strong design work is becoming increasingly important. Nike's effort with the Clark logo represents progress in this area, even if it doesn't achieve perfection. Technical delivery challenges were noted during the original logo presentation, with streaming and equipment issues affecting the initial viewing experience. However, these technical problems didn't detract from the overall positive reception of the design itself. Market positioning suggests that Nike is taking Clark's commercial potential seriously, with the logo serving as a foundation for broader merchandising and eventually signature products.
So yeah, for me anyway, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we're seeing Caitlin Clark getting her logo. Do I think this is the best logo in the world? Not really. Like, I think it's fine. I don't know what else you want me to say. It's fine. It's not a bad logo by any means. We've seen 100 times better logos. We've also seen 100 times worse logos in this. There's no question about it.
The 2026 signature shoe timeline, while delayed from some expectations, provides a concrete target for expanded product offerings. The logo's aesthetic qualities have been described as growing stronger with repeated viewing, suggesting good design fundamentals that may prove durable over time. This quality is particularly important for athlete branding, where logos must maintain appeal across extended periods and various applications. Pricing strategies for initial merchandise have generated discussion, with the $40 price point for basic t-shirts being questioned by cost-conscious consumers. This pricing approach may reflect Nike's confidence in Clark's market appeal and their intention to position her products in a premium segment.
There's worse logos in this. There's no question about it. And for me, the most exciting thing is that she could potentially be going into year 3. She could potentially be going into year 3 with a logo. Or geez, not even with a logo, with a signature shoe. And if she goes into year 3 with a signature shoe, we're like, okay, like we can complain all we want, but it's something. It's something. It's greater than nothing, I guess.
Overall assessment places the Clark logo in solid middle territory among WNBA player designs. It's clearly superior to some offerings while not quite reaching the excellence of the category leaders. This positioning suggests room for growth and refinement in future applications while providing a respectable foundation for Clark's commercial brand development. The Women's National Basketball Association faces a critical juncture as contract discussions between team ownership and the players' union threaten to derail the upcoming season. The organization that represents female basketball athletes appears determined to push negotiations toward a confrontation that could severely damage the sport's recent progress. Current fan engagement with the league and teams like Indiana's franchise hangs in the balance.
It's greater than nothing, I guess. That's one of those things where it's like, we can't really be out here talking about like her not having a shoe anymore, Nike disrespecting her and all this, as long as the shoe is there. As long as the shoe is there, we can't say that anymore. Nike have absolutely disrespected Caitlin Clark over the years. As seen by the fact that, you know, Connor McCaffrey was out there tweeting out about it. Connor McCaffrey.
Should athletes find themselves unable to compete due to failed contract talks, public interest may plummet dramatically. A delayed season start, whether pushed from the traditional May beginning to June or even July, would test supporter loyalty significantly. The devastating scenario involves complete cancellation of competition for an entire year. Such an outcome would waste all the promotional value and public attention that star player Caitlin Clark generated during her college career at Iowa and professional debut. Her influence elevated viewing numbers and attendance across multiple seasons.
2026 season. Let's forecast in the future. Where do you think your interest level will lie then? And God forbid there is no 2026 season. All the momentum that Caitlin Clark has built up, all the sweat equity that Caitlin Clark has put into this league over the last 3 years, I'm including her junior year at Iowa, all for nothing. Because if there's no 2026 season, the outlook for 2027 and the excitement level for a 2027 season.
Recent reporting from sports business journalist Annie Costabal reveals growing pessimism about reaching agreement before the October 31st cutoff date. League representatives suggest team owners lack motivation to expedite discussions, while athlete representatives claim management deliberately stalls proceedings. Approximately 2 months remain for both sides to finalize terms. Industry insiders predict deadline extensions will become necessary to prevent immediate work stoppages. Player representatives emphasize their dedication to securing groundbreaking contract terms that reflect recent growth in women's athletics.
Level for a 2027 season, the outlook is looking fairly grim. Annie Costabile of Front Office Sports, shout out to Annie, comes out with an update on CBA negotiations, saying a new WNBA CBA deal by October 31st deadline appears increasingly unlikely. The union cited the league's lack of urgency and questioned if it was just running out of the clock on negotiations.
The surge in popularity traces directly to Clark's impact. Television ratings jumped between 2022 and 2023 following her junior collegiate season. Another increase occurred from 2023 to 2024 as she completed her senior year and rookie professional campaign. Throughout 2025, despite Clark's absence from active competition, both the Indiana team and league management continued using her potential return as marketing leverage. This strategy maintains audience interest among casual fans who don't follow daily sports news coverage.
Just running out of the clock on negotiations in a statement to Front Office Sports. They're not running out of the clock. You might question their urgency because it's not important to them. Not important to the owners. It's important to the players. It's not as important to the owners. The WNBA and Women's National Basketball Players Association have just over 60 days to ratify a new collective bargaining agreement, and it looks increasingly likely that the October 31st deadline will come and go without a deal.
Most spectators attending games or watching broadcasts aren't consuming constant social media updates or sports applications. They remain unaware of Clark's current status, but associate the Indiana franchise with her presence. Both the team and league exploit this connection deliberately. Previous contract extensions occurred in 2019 when both parties agreed to extend discussions for 60 days, ultimately reaching resolution before player transactions began in January. However, current circumstances differ due to planned expansion with 2 new teams in Toronto and Portland scheduled to begin operations next season.
Increasingly likely that the October 31st deadline will come and go without a deal. One source familiar with the negotiations tells Front Office Sports that an extension of that deadline will likely be necessary to avoid an immediate work stoppage. The players are working diligently to achieve a transformational CBA that builds on the growth, momentum, and positive news surrounding women's sports and the W. All the growth, momentum, and positive news surrounding the W, that's the sweat equity that Caitlin Clark has put in. You see the jump from 22 to 23.
League officials conducted an expansion selection process for Golden State's new franchise in December 2024, well before free agency commenced. Yet no timeline or regulations exist for the upcoming expansion involving Toronto and Portland because such procedures require finalized contract agreements. The alternative outcome involves work cessation through ownership lockout rather than player strike. Athletes would need active employment status to organize a strike, making lockout the more probable scenario. Team owners would simply refuse access until players accept management terms.
2 to 23, that's coming off the heels of Caitlin Clark's junior year. You see the growth from 23 to 24, that's Caitlin Clark double dipping with an incredible senior year and a monstrous rookie season. 2025, Caitlin Clark hasn't played, but the Indiana Fever and the WNBA, hand in hand, both culpable, have been dangling Caitlin Clark's return in front of our faces, keeping us interested, keeping us intrigued, keeping people tuning in.
If athletes intended to strike, such action would have occurred already. Financial obligations and living expenses prevent most players from forgoing paychecks indefinitely. League history shows no previous game cancellations due to labor disputes, though 2003 saw minor delays in draft proceedings and exhibition schedules. Player representatives demand equal revenue distribution, specifically requesting 50% of the league's portion after revenue sharing with other stakeholders. However, the organization retains only 42% of total income after distributing shares to various ownership entities.
Us interested, keeping us intrigued, keeping people tuning in. The majority of people that watch these games, the majority of people that follow the Indiana Fever, the majority of people that follow Caitlin Clark, they're not on Twitter all day. They're not on ESPN app all day, WNBA all day, YouTube all day. They don't know that Caitlin Clark's out. They see Indiana Fever, they say, oh, I want to see the main attraction. They see Indiana Fever, they say, I want to see Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever and the WNBA have been...
Athletes essentially request half of this already reduced amount. Union leadership maintains commitment to extended negotiations until achieving transformational contract terms. Priority demands include enhanced revenue allocation, improved benefits, expanded team rosters, and standardized workplace conditions throughout the organization. Initial face-to-face meetings during All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis proved unproductive. Prominent players, including union leadership, characterized sessions as worthless due to vast disagreements over financial distribution.
I want to see Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever and the WNBA have been dangling Caitlin Clark's return. And there's a reason why that petition is currently out there. A brief extension of the last CBA, which would need to be agreed to by both parties, would prevent a work stoppage and allow the sides to continue negotiating. In 2019, the league and the union agreed to a 60-day extension announced in a joint statement 3 days before the deadline. Ultimately, negotiations were completed in January before.
Athletes demonstrated their position by wearing shirts reading "Pay us what you owe us" during pre-game activities. Such displays likely irritate team ownership rather than promote productive dialogue. The potential for 2026 season cancellation threatens damage beyond current organizational imagination. Evidence of declining interest already appears in games not featuring Clark or Indiana. Recent attendance at an Indiana contest against another franchise recorded the season's lowest regular season turnout of 15,000 spectators, compared to typical crowds exceeding 17,000.
Before the deadline. Ultimately, negotiations were completed in January before free agency. Unlike in 2019, the league is up against expansion with two new franchises in Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire, set to begin play in 2026, next season. In 2024, the league held an expansion draft for the Golden State Valkyries on December 7th, over a month before free agency was set to begin. The league has yet to produce rules or a date for the upcoming expansion draft. It will be impossible to do so without a CBA because both expansion and free agency.
Do these athletes believe they can skip an entire year of competition and expect fan loyalty to remain unchanged? Even supporters who return to watching after previous absences would use a gap year to adjust viewing habits and priorities. The sport would return to secondary status in entertainment choices. Industry observers recognize the catastrophic potential of labor disruption for league survival. Unfortunately, many athletes fail to comprehend these consequences.